following program contains graphic material, including offensive language. Viewer discretion is advised.
It sounded like someone was being murdered. It was that loud.
Oh shit, something just walked in there.
Oh my god, did you see that?
Come on, get up here. Right there.
State institutions for the mentally retarded.
I need somebody up here.
You're fine. I'm up here. Holy shit, what the hell was that?
Wait.
And forget them while they decay from the
Shortly after its closure, reports of strange paranormal activity would begin to surface, leaving several staff members and volunteers speechless.
Shit.
Was that you?
For the mentally retarded.
rotting in their cages.
You have a message that you want to give to a staff member?
Ouch. Man. He's getting fucking pinched. Oh, don't call it out.
You got a baby right here.
What the fuck is...
Wait, stop. Did you hear that?
Who's in there?
Dude.
There was somebody...
Oh my god.
What is it?
Stop.
What, you see that?
Doesn't this degrade the person who is being disciplined to the point that he may regress?
I doubt it very much. Actually, what we're trying to do is degrade him to a certain extent amongst his fellows here. They make fun of him then for a while afterwards, but I don't think there's anything inhumane about it or anything of that sort.
I didn't believe in ghosts at all until I stepped foot in this building.
What would you like? If I can give you anything in the world, what would you want?
I'd like to get out of Pennhurst.
If you can have anything in the world, what would you want?
But I like to have, well, I'll tell you this, well, I had a little bit of money myself, like.
Would you rather have money or would you rather leave Pennhurst?
I'd rather leave Pennhurst.
Even if you didn't have any money? Do the people outside love you? Do they care about you?
Well, I haven't been around them not been around them enough to see that.
But do you think they care about you?
I think so.
Who cares about you?
None of my parents don't care for me.
How about other people?
The other people, they don't care for you either, so just go look for trouble, that's all.
Going into this, we knew it would probably be one of our toughest cases that we've dealt with, in the past 9 years, just because the reports of activity were so aggressive and seemed evil, and little did we know, how much this investigation would change each one of us personally. Almost like the more you pushed, the more it pushed back. It was definitely one of our most intense investigations, and I have no doubt in my mind that there's definitely something evil there at Pennhurst.
Do you know how long you've been here, Joe? That you remember?
I was 19 when I first came out.
How old are you now, Joe?
20.
You want to go home?
Yeah, I like to.
Who's going to take you home?
Nobody.
Why, Joe?
They don't want me to.
You mean the people don't want you to go home with them? You mean your mother and father?
My mother's in Lovington, Virginia Hospital. I can't go down there and see her.
Uh-huh. How about your daddy?
No.
He doesn't want you. Who loves you the most, Joe?
My mother.
Yeah? Who else?
My father.
Who cares about you? Does anyone ever come and visit you, Joe?
No, they don't.
Would you like somebody to visit you?
Yes.
What would you like most in the whole world? A what? What would you like most in the whole world?
The whole world?
Mm-hmm.
This social indifference stresses the hangover of 19th century philosophy, which condemns the mentally retarded to a bare existence in facilities like Pennhurst. These children can be helped, and they are depending on society to care enough about them.
It's not good, then it's shameful, because this rich country, this great country, and I must say it is very great and very rich, can afford to take care of the least of these.
The man in charge bitterly complained to the state that the conditions were already overcrowded. He transferred many of the patients to Q1, a classroom building.
Multiple things that have happened here that are proven facts were the atrocities of sexual, physical, and mental abuse. You know, it obviously was a really bad situation.
Pennhurst was first opened 60 years ago when the answers to the problem of mental retardation were considered to be segregation and sterilization.
Many of the children are victims of neglect of their own family, and in many instances,
it's almost understandable.
Who cares about it? Who cares about it?
their own family.
Who cares about it?
Withering for quite a while.
Of course, disciplining.
Who cares about it?
And went around the corner, started walking up the stairs, and something ran right into the back of me, and I fell flat on my face.
Pennhurst State School and Hospital.
Pennhurst State School and Hospital.
Did you freaking see that?
Shackled like prisoners, punished, because they cannot control themselves and their illness. All of the patients in Pennhurst are not hopeless idiots or mangled cripples. Many of them walk and talk, but lack the opportunity to progress.
Who cares about it? Who cares about it? Who cares about it?
We're not here to harm you, provoke anybody.
We're housing, some of them were schools, some of them had other things that you had, some of them housed employees, but Philadelphia was mostly a school. But we'll take you for a walk.
There are only 9 MDs and 2 psychiatrists working at the institution on a full-time
basis. They are responsible for 2,800 sick children.
His name's Johnny. They covered his eyes one day.
As the type of work that I do, I'm called into a facility to read the building.
You may have been handicapped in life, but now that you've moved on, you don't have those handicaps, those handcuffs, those chains.
I had never been here before, and as soon as I crossed the threshold, I was immediately rushed by energy children.
Kept you from being part of society. Now you can do what you want to do.
Just so you guys know, we are in complete darkness right now. There are night vision on, we cannot see anything.
Pennhurst opened its doors in 1908 after being commissioned in 1904. It went through different phases, and the buildings changed from year to year as far as the population and the overcrowding came into place.
Can you imagine being in this building with this being this dark?
Somewhere around 1968, Bill Baldini came in and did a piece on it, which was called Suffer the Little Children.
These are some of the sights and sounds of Pennhurst, the state institution for the mentally retarded. It's located in Spring City, Chester County.
The only room in the Mayflower building that's got the padded room for sound, and if you look over here, it's busted out now because of vandals. But there used to be a double-sided mirror, so they could see what was going on in the room, and then you couldn't see him.
It displayed the overcrowding and atrocities that happened to the patients.
Actually, what we're trying to do is degrade him to a certain extent amongst his fellows here.
It wasn't always like that. They changed as the times changed, as the overcrowding changed, as conditions changed. these buildings all changed with it.
Now, we're not here to harm you, provoke anybody. We know you've had people in here that's provoked, that was mean to you. We're just here to talk with you.
The reality of it is that most people look at it as Mayflower being really rough. My guess is that they really went unwatched at night.
It just feels like something's going to freaking run out and grab you and drag you into the darkness. I'll never see you again.
Let's go back here to the pool. And, because there's a path that leads down in there. See if we can get a couple full shots down there.
Okay. You got buildings as far as you can see that way. You got buildings that way. Turn around, you got more buildings all around here. I mean, it's just building after building. It's amazing after all these years that they're still here.
They have been abandoned and placed at the mercy of the state. In the case of Pennhurst, the state has failed to do its moral duty.
Oh, it's locked.
So this area right back in here, this was the waiting pool where all the patients were brought down here and they would do therapy.
Johnny, can you talk? Yes. Do you like it here at Pennhurst?
No. As you can see, the trees and everything's kind of overgrown, the pool.
So they punish you and put you here?
Yes.
Do they do this all the time to you, John?
Yes.
Do you remember living anywhere except Pennhurst?
No.
What was it? Did you just hear that?
Like a knocking noise?
I heard a whistle. Sounded like somebody went.
We're up here in complete darkness.
Came in, opened up the door, turned the alarm off. I walked into, the first room on the left, kind of just set up shop, put my paperwork down and just kind of looking around. And I went to go walk back outside and I heard the loudest scream I've ever heard in my life. To the point where I was like, okay, I'm not going to go check what that was. I closed the door, I went up to the gate and just hung out up there.
Mr. King, did we offend you when we were down here last time? Did you abuse children in here?
That was freaking weird. But it sounded like it was almost right beside me. That was weird as heck. That was pretty cool. It begins at Pennhurst.
That's the thing here with all these buildings. You really need to just focus all your attention on one building at a time and, not try to cram all these buildings into one investigation.
I swear it looked like I seen something standing there on them steps. Did you get mad because Josh was talking about Mr. King? Do you want him to come up here?
Knock on something loud for us right now.
You hear that behind me?
Mm-hmm.
There's something directly behind me because I can feel it.
You been walking up there?
Yeah, like water running.
Greg, was that behind you?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What did you actually feel behind you, Greg, before that noise?
I just felt like, I don't know, just a lot of tension, like something was coming up behind me, then I heard a noise.
I think the longer we're here, the more they're going to get comfortable with us and want to start pushing.
Well, see, what was funny, Greg, he goes, I want to turn around and I want to face us. And then that's when we heard it.
This is the only place, with the exception of a few places that I've ever been, where when you have your back turned, like right down to the darkness, you just feel like something's going to run up and freaking grab you.
Let me ask you this, John. Do you remember living anywhere except Pennhurst?
No.
Something's down here.
I've seen a boy on the 3rd floor come out of one of the rooms, kind of stop, look at us, and then ran into the next room. I ran down the hallway, see if I can catch him, and no one was in there.
Do you like talking to the people up here?
Yeah.
Why, John?
And they like to talk to me.
Have you been talking more lately or less?
Less.
Why are you here in Q2, John?
I did something I wasn't supposed to be doing.
So they punished you and put you here?
Yes.
Let this thing come to us.
Or a loved one.
It's going to come to us. If it's that scared to run from us and can't come up and face us, then heck with it.
Whoever's down here with us, we can hear you now. We've got a device that if you speak, we can hear you. Do you have a message that you want to give to a staff member or a loved one?
Ouch. Man.
In the basement, pitch dark, again, freezing cold. I was bundled up, scarf hat, gloves, coat, and I was running a session, an EVP session, and all of a sudden I say, "Who are you? Tell me your name." And I get this feeling of fingers poking me in the rib cage.
I don't know if I got pinched or it felt like a freaking needle or something.
They said don't come to the basement and ask for something you can't handle.
I didn't call
Yeah,
it
you
out.
did.
I just told it to come
Yeah, you
to
did.
us.
You called it out. We did.
Come on, do you want to take Sean on? Here he is. Take him on.
Man. I can still feel it like freaking poking or something. Or
You ask to be touched, you will be touched. What you ask for in this building will happen.
Did you hear that, Becca?
Mm-hmm.
I had literally been touched by this entity, and this was a male figure, a very big, large man who dominated this entire area.
If there's a different spirit besides Mr. King, please let us know you're down here.
Pennhurst has hundreds of spirits here. The minute I am even driving maybe a mile away from coming onto this campus, I just feel it. They swarm me when I'm here. It's so many of them. I would say at least 200 is what I've come across, if not more. I feel like a lot of the activity is what was going on back in the day. You know, I can see people on the walkway. They're just everywhere.
It just feels like something's gonna freaking run out and grab you and drag you into the darkness. I'll never see you again. Mr. King, did we offend you when we were down here last time?
I'm not one who's going to be like upstairs by myself as you guys are in the basement. I mean, I know who's there.
Did you abuse children in here? We've got a baby right here. These kids came in here and they enjoyed toys like this. You hear all that? Did you abuse children down here? Tell us now. It's like whenever you get aggressive, the thing gets aggressive. Tell us your name now. Tell us your name now. Tell us your name now.
I did something I wasn't supposed to be doing.
So they punished you and put you here?
I had tried to get him into a Catholic organization. Turned out that his IQ wasn't quite high enough.
Let me ask you this, John. Do you remember living anywhere except Pennhurst?
No.
Chances are poorer here than they would be where they have a program set up for this type of case.
There are too many Johnnies in Pennhurst this very evening. Unless the state provides more competent personnel and facilities, they will remain just where they are, stripped of their dignity, lost to society.
We know you're in here. We can sense it.
Can you turn some of that, Josh?
No, don't do that. We're going to leave the basement. You want us to leave? Did you hear that?
No.
It goes no. You want us to leave? We're going to leave. Is that okay with you?
No, yeah. Is that what it's saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
Please.
I got cold chills.
Yeah.
You guys get any cold chills?
Are you in this room with us right now?
Hair on my back, legs. And that's
Don't run.
We'll run if we want to run. Do you need help?
help.
Is there a little girl down here with us?
About a little boy. And a dog. I'm an answer.
We went into what I guess was a storage room. It was a wood-framed room with chicken wire as the walls. And we're standing in the middle of that room, and the whole, those walls started just shaking, like someone was shaking it on us. And that's when we decided it was probably a good time to get the hell out of there.
He will come right up to you in a threatening manner when you walk downstairs. He does it to me all the time. And when Nick was questioning him, I said, Nick said, "What's your name?" And I said, he just said, "King." And Nick said, "What the hell makes you the king?" And he said, "It's my domain." So that's his whole mindset down there. Not nice.
I'm an answer when we say stuff.
No, stay behind me.
What was wrong?
The fuck is...
Wait, stop.
What, did you see that? Oh shit, there wasn't nothing standing there.
Who's in there?
Turn white.
Did you freaking see that?
Did you get it on video?
Well, I had to. I was freaking filming it. That's how I seen it. I haven't took my damn eyes off this.
Good.
There was somebody...
Oh my God.
What is it?
I am telling you, there was somebody fucking standing right freaking in front of me.
Let's just go towards
No, I'm
it.
talking about this shadow. This other shadow.
We already told whoever's down here that they're not the balls, we're the balls. We run this basement. No more kids are going to be hurt.
I can't see
And we're going to do what we want to do. Stop right here. You wanted us, here we are. We know for a fact that they kept you locked in this chair, strapped down like an animal.
I do recommend not overly provoking.
It went right through the wall.
We got a trash can right here. If you got the energy to beat kids and be aggressive towards people that come in here to investigate, then move that trash can. Was that you?
I can't see.
You don't have to run from us. All the noise is off. It's complete silence.
I had 6 minutes.
Now you can do something. Just nobody move. Did you hear that?
Yeah, it's walking right behind you.
Come up and touch me. How clear was it on there when you seen that person standing there?
I swear I seen somebody as freaking probably almost as tall as me.
Well, what was the time on the tape? Did you hear that? What the hell?
What the hell was that? Was that somebody's stomach or was that?
No.
I can't figure that.
There was somebody coming down those fucking steps earlier.
But as soon as we walked in, it was freaking, I started hearing footsteps out in the halls. So I figured maybe you can try to trick them and be like, "Hey, I see you."
And actually he's down here behind me now. That I don't know where he came from, but he was here last time, and he's not friendly. Because he's...
That's how I seen it. I haven't took my damn eyes off this. There was somebody freaking standing. Right there. Back there. I swear I will give my $50 or any shit on this freaking phone. Let's go look at it. Let's get out of the basement and go look at it. Let's go. Jesus freaking.
Had a meeting with us, and she was explaining, you know, where he was, who he was, and we get down into the basement, and my partner was provoking this entity, spirit, whatever you want to call it. And we were quiet for a couple seconds, and I asked if he could make another noise, and next thing you know, a crowbar gets picked up off the ground and thrown right in the middle of the group.
The spirits that had worked here are not happy that we're here, and they tend to be more authoritative, some of them extremely aggressive, some of them slightly dangerous.
You know, that's why I think a lot of times it's interesting the interaction you get paranormally in these places, because it's not always a voice. Sometimes it is physical, but it doesn't mean they're trying to hurt you. It means they didn't know how else to interact with you.
There's always touch and
so
feel.
So you're pushing, you know, getting pushed almost down a stairwell doesn't mean they're trying to hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
It's trying to get your attention.
I think that's why most of that shows up on yours, Rob.
And then immediately pressure on my back, and you could see me physically move forward, that they were trying to get me back out of the building.
Not scared, but like, did that really just happen?
It was this feeling of, okay, we're welcoming you in, but now we want you to go. And I have never been touched personally in that manner, and it was broad daylight.
We all witnessed a crowbar getting picked up and thrown across the room. You know, at that point, it really didn't matter to me that who this guy was. What mattered to me is how the hell did he just pick that up and throw that across the room?
Most of that shows up on yours, Rob.
Shit. Holy shit. Stop. What do we do? Just stop. Was that you?
My heart is racing. Holy shit. Go in here.
We can't see you.
Somebody's got a voice
I can't see what's even in this room.
When they got voice reporters,
Go again and then turn right.
Is that you in here?
They get this feeling of dread, something behind you. You get a feeling of you're being followed. What is your name? 3 seconds later, Class A, Ralph.
Can you tell us your name?
Yours, Rob.
No doubt that they're here. There's too many experiences.
Institutions are sometimes pitiful, just pitiful, disgraceful. And we just can't tolerate that, John. It's not right.
What would you like most in the whole world?
The whole world?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Suffer children to come to me, and forbid them not, for of such is the kingdom of God.
When was the last time you had a visitor here?
1940.
1940.
They walked out on me.
Who walked out on you, Gal?
My sister did.
The ones that speak detest the inhumane conditions and hunger for the slightest sign of affection. However, some of them have become so callous to their plight, they've all but given up. They are alone in a world that seems to lack all compassion.
Oh shit, something just walked in
Oh
there.
my God, did you see that?
Come on, get up here. Right there. Holy shit.
Holy cow.
Stop right here. I'm gonna run into something because I can't see anything. I need somebody up here.
You're fine. I'm up here. Holy shit, what the hell was that?
When I first heard the story of Pennhurst and what happened here and watched suffering little children and saw what was going on, you know, that if that doesn't touch your heart, I don't know what does. You know, the things that happen here it's extremely sad. You know, knowing that kids were dropped off here as babies, lived their whole lives here without ever seeing their parents again. You know, growing up in an environment that was so hostile and so uncaring, you know, that hurts your soul. It just hurts seeing such a beautiful location fall into such decay. I'm not only here just because of the paranormal, but just because this place feels like a home. You know, and every time I come back here, I feel like, I mean, it's weird to say, but I feel like I give something back.
Pennhurst was first opened 60 years ago when the answers to the problem of mental retardation were considered to be segregation and sterilization. Sterilization, of course, is a thing of the past, but the archaic practices of segregation and custodial care are still with us, and seemingly with the approval of society. The 2,800 children, young and old alike, residing within the confines of Pennhurst are for the most part protected from society, and the granite wall of ignorance and social blindness protects society from them. These unfortunates are being deprived of their dignity and self-respect. Why? Because only a very, very few seem to care. No, the children, as they are all called, who are rotting in their cages, cribs, and beds, can thank society for their dreadful plight. We have forsaken them, not in the sense of what we have done to them, but because of what we have failed to do on their behalf. They have been abandoned and placed at the mercy of the state. In the case of Pennhurst, the state has failed to do its moral duty.
Institutions are sometimes pitiful, just pitiful, disgraceful. And we just can't tolerate that, John. It's not right. We just can't look ourselves in the mirror when you know what goes on in some of these institutions. I don't know about your particular problem here, but let me tell you, if it's not good, then it's shameful. Because this rich country, this great country, and I must say it is very great and very rich, can afford to take care of the least of these.
If I had my way, every building would be saved. I don't know that that's always the case, you know, and who's to say where it will be. But as more and more money and exposure comes to the place, we're able to save a lot more. We're able to clean a lot more buildings and make them structurally sound for people to come in. And the hope is that multiple buildings will be available to people, or other avenues, you know, whether it be photography or, you know, or paranormal things. You know, with the haunted house, it's brought a lot of exposure, and it's helping. And the more activity brings more money, that saves a lot of these buildings. And I think at the end of the day, preserving these buildings is paramount to almost anybody's, you know, agenda. And I think that we're trying to do that. And I think that, you know, at the end of the day, I hope that people understand that. And I hope that people give us the time to prove it's, you know, that's what we want to do.